That's crazy.
Star Pizza. This is piping hot and fresh. Just delivered here, not for me, but whatever. I have to use the microphone because my shit sucks. Yeah, it all sucks. I can't even eat the pizza.
And they do definitely deliver. Hey, are they giving you food?
Andy Yanez brought some Star Pizza.
Nice.
Mike Pittman from Star Pizza, our dear, close, personal friend, brought pizza. And I'm going to eat it while I wear my my GoCoogs Christmas sweater. Check that out.
I thought you were wearing a bib or something.
Yeah, I'm wearing a bib.
About to sit down and go to town on that pizza.
About to go Brad Towns on that pizza.
Exactly. Beast mode.
So, Galen, we're glad you're here. It's been such a long time since we've seen you.
I miss y'all boys, man. Miss y'all dearly.
I'm going to be honest with you. You know, you missed an important day for this.
Very important day.
We were in Provo with those beautiful cougar tails, and you missed it.
Glad I did.
But we're going to take care of you.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
You just enjoy Joseph Duarte, your GoCoogs intern, and also the flautist.
I guess that's just the way you got to do it. That's why they put it on the package.
That's why they put it in the box.
Hey, man.
U of H wins 79-51?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about what you saw today?
Well, personally, I think from the jump, what stood out, even when I wrote it in my notes, what stood out was our energy. And we had a certain pop, a certain level of intensity. And I just knew that it's only a matter of time before the scoreboard and our intensity, before they, got on the same page. So in the end, we're able to pull away, but what stood out to me especially was the energy, the defensive chemistry, the pop, the aggressiveness, even the aggressiveness of the screens. I can tell that was probably a point of emphasis in practice. So, it really stood out to me. Like, it just jumped out on the screen for sure.
Brad, what were your first thoughts?
Definitely the intensity. I would call it we attacked on both ends of the floor. We finally played an attacking defense instead of we've been kind of soft on the double at the pick and roll. We've been slow on the monster in the post. We've just been slow in rotations. But there was a much different energy to that. They were a lot more aggressive in sprinting to every action that they did.
Everything.
And right at about the 10-minute mark is when I really noticed it. So that's the first time I've seen U of H play defense like they normally play defense, where everybody was getting to the ball, attacking the man on the pick and roll, stopping the ball, and then JoJo busting his ass as fast as possible to get back to the post that covered everything up. That was a big deal. And finally, which I've been complaining about for a couple of weeks now, is the bigs, when we were doing the pick and roll, were finally rolling to the basket aggressively. And what that opened up, it opened up obviously a pass on the pick and roll. You got a 2-on-1 game, or you got a mismatch.
You got to honor that role.
But then you also have the other thing where the guard can follow right behind the post and be able to sneak in for a quick layup. We did that 3 different times tonight. So it was just a lot sharper of doing the things that we've always done. We didn't seem to change much schematically. I think we showed a couple of different looks, but we ran the exact same scheme. They just did it
more intensity.
Yeah, aggressive. Yeah. They attacked
this team that we've seen tonight was energy wise was night and day, and mentality wise it was night and day different than the team that we saw play against San Diego State. That team didn't really have any pop, didn't have really any swag, didn't have any aura. This team, they just seem to have that zip like that. I can tell like them losing two games in less than 3-4 days. I don't even want to know what that practice was like, but I know what it was like, and I'm glad that the messages of the practice got across.
Yes.
You think practice was a little difficult this week? Is that what you're trying to say?
Just a little bit. But it was. There are certain things when you play good teams this early in the year. There are points of emphasis, and they kind of expose those things. So I feel like again, us playing the quality of teams that we play early, it gives us things to fix it, and so we can have a better outcome down the line.
I think you saw a certain intensity tonight that you haven't seen. Everybody was in on it. Your head coach, everybody else. Kelvin and Juwan kind of got into it a little bit late in the game. Kelvin was not happy with his effort and let him know that you're acting lazy is the word he used. There were other words, but we're just not going to repeat all of those exactly right here. This is the start of that, and you can see the F forming in Kelvin's mouth there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are familiar with that one. Brad, give us a minute on Star Pizza, and I'm going to eat Star Pizza while you do it.
It's the best. It's the best pizza in Houston. It's been my favorite for as long as they've been around. I've been going there since back when the Satellite Lounge was an actual concert venue. So that
shit just sounds old, Brad.
Yeah, Galen, if you've never heard any of these references, it's okay.
Never have. It just sounds old. But yeah, tap in, man. Star Pizza. Get right or get lost, man.
They are absolutely fantastic. The pizza is the star of the show, obviously. But do not sleep on the pasta, salads, desserts, phenomenal, out of this world. So whatever you're looking for, they're gonna hook you up. All fresh, made right there, ready for you.
I can't even write it fast enough now.
You gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You see how Joseph Duarte is handling that cougar tail? That's how Brad eats his Star Pizza. It looks a lot like that. Juwan has been telling me, and I think Kelvin may have mentioned this in the pregame radio, about his motor and how he has not been as active as he needs to be. Juwan's fessed up to it, says he's just not had it. But he had another 12 rebounds tonight. Shot the ball poorly, 1 of 5. But he's starting to look like what he's supposed to look like. That shot will fall eventually. But he played a good bit better tonight. I think everybody did. I want to ask you, Galen, there are a lot of shots coming from the elbow, free throw line there. Why is that a shot that they're taking at this point so often? I mean, statistically, analytics says that's the worst shot to take. You should get to the whole.
There's analytics, and then there's Kelvin Sampson.
You don't think he believes in that, though?
He believes in putting the ball through the net. And then there's certain guys, it's crazy, I wrote that in my notes. With Terrence, I remember when I went to practice, they were just like, shoot them all. get to your spot, shoot them all. And he's kind of taken that, and that's the games that I've seen. He's getting to that mid-range shot. That's his spot. He has great positional size, and he's able to make that shot. So, I mean, same thing with Mercy. It was one inbound play in the first half where they, I think it's called 51, a low clock play. He got the ball on the baseline, shot it, and the practice that I went to, they were just like, shoot it. Every time you get it, shoot it. And it's just like that breeds confidence in our guys. But I just feel like those shots are open. And whenever you offensive rebound as good as we do, you're able to do those types of things. Because usually the shot's going to come off kind of soft, and our bigs are going to be in an advantageous position to get those rebounds.
Brad, what is your favorite moment from the Big 12 Big East battle? Okay.
You know, none of them really stand out. I want to go back to your mid-range jumper.
Oh, okay.
The reason why that's important is because it breaks the defense.
All right.
I don't know what you're putting on the screen. What is that?
Well, that's the logo for the Big 12 Big East battle, or the Big East Big 12 battle. They don't really know what it's even called.
Okay, so going back to you notice that we get stuck a lot around the perimeter, and then we end up, thankfully, Emmanuel can throw one in from the logo, with the time expiring on the shot clock, because he finds himself in that position a lot. But what the elbow jumper does is it breaks that defense, and it forces them to at least respect the drive. Your post isn't always going to be open, and you're not going to be able to get to the rim every time, but you're always going to get to that. You're going to be able to get to the elbow, free throw line extended, and you can rain 15-footers all day long. Now, the stat nerds love to go on, well, you just got to shoot threes. You just got to shoot threes. Screw that. That if you've got, unless you can consistently get to the rim, you've got to be able to break the defense, and doing it from the 15 feet. I mean, that's absolutely perfect. Give me points every time down the floor, instead of shooting and hoping you shoot, 35, 40% from three. Which in college, you're probably not going to have a lot of teams shooting 40+%. It works in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play like Golden State and Steph Curry and old school Klay Thompson, but ain't nobody else
the
got
personnel
Klay Thompson
for
and
it.
Steph Curry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Some comments real quick. There's Houston. Really good win. Sharp should change his name to Mr. 3.
What I wanted to say last game with about E-Man is like, I am honestly very proud of his growth. He's one of those guys that went from not even knowing his defensive ceiling to being somebody that is like very, very good on the defensive end of the ball, aside from his shot making ability. So it's just like, I hats off to him for like showing maturity and buying into the system.
Okay. Terrence just slices his way inside for a jumper. Dub is a dub. Attack mode finally off autopilot.
That's not what that says, Ryan.
Well,
we don't
have to say it every time.
Dub is a fucking dub, and I'm glad we're back on the. I'm glad we're back on the winning side, man. Like, this is a very big game. You lose this game, the rest of your season looks a lot different. This was a very, very big game.
I did have to laugh seeing a lot of online how many people were really, really afraid of this game. They're really concerned that there's a possibility that we were going to lose this. I'm like,
oh yeah, I wasn't worried about that.
So there is, but people don't realize how good Auburn and Alabama are, and they seem to forget how horrible of a matchup they are for us.
Yeah.
And also
but now we got a team. Butler is those we're tailor made for a team like that. Guys that are going to be big, they're going to try to shoot a lot of threes, but they're not going to beat you off the bounce at all.
So you're saying white guys? You can just say it. The slow, lumbering
They're
Midwest white guys. That's okay.
Well, they had some. They had some. Big.
What the fuck is Butler?
It's in Indiana.
Oh, okay. Of course you know, Ryan.
I mean, it's okay to know things. If you recall, when U of H was in the Final Four, they played at Hinkle Fieldhouse, that beautiful field house, and that's Butler's home arena.
Mm.
And shout out to their coach, Thad Matta, who was the coach at Ohio State for, 20-plus years?
Mm.
When he got the job at Ohio State, he looked 65 years old. Today, he's 57 and looks 95 years old. So shout out to him.
Yeah, that's funny. I kind of looked him up, and I'm like, damn, he's only 57.
Right?
I was like, damn, I was expecting a significantly higher number.
And it's been that way for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been old forever.
Yeah. Great win. You could tell being aggressive on offense was emphasized today. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like the aggressiveness in practice was probably defensive aggressiveness for sure. And obviously, you know, when you ramp up certain things on defense, that mentality carries into your offense. But the focus of those practices was proved beyond a reasonable doubt. It was definitely on the defensive end of the ball.
Well, that's just getting this team realizing who we are, because we always feed from defense to offense.
Man,
that's the defense is the engine.
Towns, I'm watching the game in that first half. I'm like, oh my God, these, like, a kid shot fake, somebody flew by, and then somebody else contested. I'm like, these kids, they are locked in. Like, the effort was off the charts. It was, I forget how many charges it was that was taken, but it was like when you got guys taking charges, every shot is contested. That team just had an interesting week of practice. That is for sure.
That, speaking of charge, when Emmanuel was able to beat his guy to the spot and get the offensive charge, that was fantastic. That's a play that he didn't make before.
I feel like when you got dreads, it makes shit look a lot more dramatic than what it is. And he kind of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Shout out E-Man, man. Shout out E-Man.
Yeah. Stats by Stards. The stat of the day is coming from a comment. Good points, Galen. Analytics showed U of H shot 53%. I'll take that every game. That is a very good stat. You know, it turns out when you shoot over 50% at home, you're probably going to win quite a few.
Shoot over 40, 45. That's usually a dub. That's a great team overall field goal percentage.
They just overturned a targeting call in the Georgia game.
Yeah, I'm watching that. That's crazy.
That seemed kind of outrageous.
I thought he blew his head off.
Well, he's hurt so bad they're putting Beck back in. It looks like. That's crazy. I had no idea Thad Matta was at Butler. He's been there 3 years.
Yeah.
Was that a rebuild, or did Butler have the coach that was Butler had the coach that went to Louisville, but he had like no facial hair. He was like a white bald guy. He didn't have no eyebrows, no mustache, no nothing. You know what I'm talking about, Ryan? Like, he went to Louisville, and then I guess prior to the previous couple of coaches, and I don't know where he's went since.
His name is Chris Holtman.
Chris Holtman. Okay, so you know.
There it is. Georgia beats him. Hot damn. That's a shame.
I've got my stream going. I've got the dang TV going, and
Towns, you got on a robe?
I'm behind everything. Do what?
Wait, a robe?
Do you have on a robe?
No, it's my basketball hoodie.
Oh, you had to ask.
That's a good ask. You get 2 of those a year, and that was a good use of one.
I know you got to let me know whenever you get that tarp size.
Yeah. So hold on. So Towns, you need what size? What X do you need?
The biggest you can get it.
Brother, that's whatever you. What do you need? Because I can get it however.
5?
5? Say less. What color you want, Towns? It's gonna be sports specially made.
He said 5.
Big Towns. I'm gonna get you about 3 of them, Towns. For the fuck
Nice.
man. Yes, sir.
Oh man, it's not sad to see Texas lose.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Our bigs have no touch around the basket. It's like they think they're Nolan Ryan flinging it at the iron from 2 feet. I think nationally you'll see that bigs around the basket shoot 55 to 60%. It's not that great. And so what I'm saying is that how bad it looks with U of H, it's that bad everywhere.
And the thing is, I wouldn't even say it's J1 never goes he never shoots 20% from the field.
Right.
Like this is kind of an outlier type of game for him. But even then, it's like J1 6'7", the dude that was guarding was 7'1". Fuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
You know, I really wish that Javier could stay on the floor more and like have the silly fouls cut down, because his offensive game is really evolving.
Yeah.
He's just not
he's
out there.
He's definitely ascending. Yeah, for sure.
He's not out there. I mean, he made a couple moves in the post today. Even put the ball on the floor from the free throw line and made a move, strong move to the basket. But he looks like he's confident and competent offensively. I just would love for him to stop getting himself in trouble so he can play some extended minutes.
Yeah.
Sounds
like I could tell you're a
bad.
fan of the back to the basket game. I am too, man. I am too. It's definitely refreshing when you see it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
See,
sure.
I like that old school game, man. Guys posting up, making some nice post moves. Guys knocking it down from 15.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up with. That's deadly.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in high school, they just instituted the 3-point line. They just brought it in.
Damn.
First years of high school. It's like in
Towns, you old as shit.
Like 1988, 89.
Yeah.
That's
they had just
crazy.
brought taken the peach basket off the bucket too. Dumbass.
He remembers the introduction of the 3-point line. That's crazy.
I think they had it in college before high school.
High school.
Yeah, I do remember when they finally had to
86.
put that stripe.
That's crazy.
That's such a great story. So I don't remember his number, but a guy from Butler tried backing it in on JoJo a couple times. And I know JoJo swatted one of them, but it's like that dude, that's all he sees in practice. Like, if you're going to try something on him, maybe don't do the one thing Jawan does.
Yeah.
Backing it on him.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one thing that I noticed, obviously we all saw how our energy stood out. And sometimes what you're not aware of is how it affects the other team. And I remember early in the second half, the kid McCaffrey, he had kind of threw it out of bounds. And, you know, through the course of a game, when things aren't working offensively, it frustrates you. And he turned the ball over and he started immediately cussing and yapping at his teammate. And that's just like, when I saw that, I was like, that just told me the essence of their team and the mindset they were in. It was just like, man, we can't get shit. And the stuff that we do get, it's hard to get it. And it's just like, when you got to work hard to manufacture offense, manufacture buckets, and offense is harder than defense, it's like, man, this is going to be a long fucking night. A long night.
He's also been a whiny bitch for years and years. His dad's a coach at Iowa.
Did he play Iowa? Yeah, okay, yeah. I know I wasn't tripping. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, his dad's a head coach there, and he was there for, I think, 5 years. So.
And you transfer when your dad is a coach? Damn.
Yeah, I don't know what that story is, but
hey, son, we suck. Go play somewhere else.
Get that NIL, I guess. Man.
I do have to say that when he gets fully healthy and can play real minutes, Terrence Arson is going to take over this team.
You think he's the guy?
Yeah, I think he's the guy.
You know, I think he's the guy that can take us. When his mind is right, I feel like he can raise our team's ceiling. But I feel like I said this last year with Jamal. It's like whenever he was aggressive, it changed the dynamic of our team.
Yeah.
And it's like tonight, I feel like Milos was. I feel like he was aggressive, and I feel like because of that aggression, we looked like a better team, regardless if we had offensive success or not. Like we just looked like a better team.
Yeah.
So I just feel like personally for our team to be who we think they can be, the onus is on him to have to create, to have to take the reins and be responsible for our offense because we were kind of spoiled last year with Jamal and him being able to set up the table and guys not having to work for. He was able to create looks for a lot of people, and I feel like big shoes to fill, but I believe in him, and I feel like he can do it.
Mm-hmm. I liked it. I like that he gets his shot off quick, and he doesn't look like he takes most of his shots in the flow of the game, and he doesn't really hesitate. So everything just kind of flows nicely off what he does. And
but I feel like with him, you can tell his mindset based on how he's playing. Like his aggressiveness level. Whenever he's like kind of hunting offense, that's the best for our team. But it's like whenever he's not in that mode, I feel like we struggle. And it's just kind of crazy how important that position is.
Whenever we look back at the point guard play here, last year, our offense looked terrible, but until Jamal decided that I do have to take over. I've got to put the team on my back and go and score because like it or not, a lot of our guys are really good, really nice guys. Our players are all team players, and sometimes they're not selfish enough. Or when they decide that they're going to shoot more, they might feel like they're being a little bit selfish.
Yeah.
But the team didn't take off until Jamal said, I got to do it. And sorry, guys, I'm going to take some shots. And then everything else flowed from that because it opens up the floor for everybody else.
Yeah. What I noticed today was LJ, his growth and his comfort having the basketball in his hands. Like when he was coming up the pick and roll, granted, LJ, he generates a lot of gravity. He's high on the scouting report. He can score at all three levels. And he's probing, extending his dribble, not picking up the ball, and he's like being able to still generate offense. So it's like I feel like that's a big area that he's grown in this year in relation to where he was last year, 100%.
Okay.
What you got to say about that, Ryan?
I really wasn't listening.
Damn,
Were
that's
you
fucked
here?
up.
He wouldn't understand it. Were you here, or have you been here since we signed CNAC?
Nah.
No, he hadn't been here in a month.
Month is some change for real.
Hey,
yeah.
Man, you're putting up minutes. Which I think I checked. You were at like
29
29 minutes a game.
Oh yeah. Nah, it's been a tough one. We got a crazy win yesterday.
Overtime win, huh?
The refs were trying to fuck us. That's what it seemed like. It was just bad call after bad call. Respect to them, they probably did their best, but it was terrible. But I'm just so glad we were able to finally get a win and finally get an off day. Needed that.
Allow you to breathe a little bit.
Man, just a little bit. Because it's like, the vibes when you lose, it's kind of cloudy. When you win, it's like it's just sunshine, blue skies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
if you get a guy like CNAC as a point guard, how good does that make you feel seeing that guy come down the lane on a pick and roll?
His offensive ability, that'll make anybody happy. He poses as a extreme mismatch problem just because usually we have guys who are undersized at the 5 position, but he's 6'10".
Yeah.
So it ain't gonna be no mismatches there, and like guys are gonna have to guard him, and the guys that guard him aren't gonna be used to guarding guys like him. So yeah, that's definitely that's a great get. A great get for sure.
You know who he reminds me of from a couple of years ago? Derek Lively from Duke.
Well, man, I can see what you mean, but he's so much more polished.
Oh, he's got a much better outside
polished
game. He could. I mean, he's a dude
You know
that's big
what I
enough to
say?
play a three, like
You know
KD.
what I say? I say like a Paul Washington.
Yeah.
Paul Washington played at Kentucky, the team that beat us, but it's you can stretch the floor, you're skilled, and his offensive ceiling is very high.
Yeah.
Given that, let's say he does what we all believe that he can do and go to the NBA, we'll start to see that true ability.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Hey, Galen, look to your right. There you go. Okay. And just
you fucked up, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I miss y'all boys, man.
as he leaves.
Y'all boys, man. No, but I'm just getting a little.
Oh yeah, he's drinking. I hear the wine.
Yeah. You feel me?
Yeah.
Same team. Boda box.
Not really.
Grigio. Absolutely.
Let's get a little football talk out of the way real quick. Any talk about interviewing Connor Wigman? So, number one, the transfer portal has not opened. U of H officially...
When does it open?
Monday. U of H officially has had nothing to do with Connor Wigman. Nothing.
And
Nothing.
I know everybody likes to ask. We try to get any and all players we can get on the show.
That's not true. We try to get starters and people that matter and have great stories and are interesting. Some people just aren't good to talk to. And so we don't try to get them people. But if Connor Wigman does come to U of H, I promise you he will be on the Sunday night show. We're working to get potential new hires. Can't say names, of course, but new hires within the football program. Slade Nagel, the new defensive coordinator, whenever that happens, they'll be here. They'll be on the show. And, we've got a good working relationship with football, and that we'll get everybody on. That will not be a problem. But Wegman would be a really big deal for U of H. He's had some injury issues, but, there's a reason people are in the portal, and it's one thing or another. His is injuries, but
money.
It could be that too. I don't think at A&M he was having an issue with the money. You got to know that wherever you're going, there's a cut coming.
Coming to U of H for money is like me going to a vegan restaurant. Ain't happening.
Yeah,
ain't happening. That's crazy, Charles. Charles, you a real one, man. You a real one.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought. So, Brad, we have not talked about this. What do you think of Slade Nagel? All right.
I don't have a big opinion one way or the other. I mean, I liked him last year. I mean, he was Willie's guy originally. I wish we could have got him last year.
Yeah.
But I think, based on what I remember watching them, their offense, they're going to play to their strengths of whatever they have. They got a good quarterback. They're going to use quarterback. But they're always going to be more of a run focused. They're going to be built off the run. But if you've got a quarterback that can sling it, then the quarterback's going to be given some latitude.
Okay. You could have saved yourself some time and just said, Ryan, he's from Lake Charles. And that's just going to be a success.
I didn't know. No idea where he's from.
He's from Lake Charles. He went to Barb High School, played at McNeese, Clemson, and then McNeese. So obviously just talent oozing from him. I like the hire. I think it gets a lot better if you bring in Connor Wegman. I think it gets a lot better if Wegman is able to bring in other guys, offensive linemen or receivers or whatever. You're going to see starters from this team go in the portal on Monday. And,
how crazy is that?
Well, when you're a bad program, a bad team, you can't score, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. And it's going to be people, guys that you don't want to lose.
I have a iffy feeling about the whole transfer portal thing, let alone when you're a starter. It's like you're going somewhere else, or at least in basketball, it's like you're going somewhere else everything's new to you.
Right.
Whereas like you are a part of a foundation that was established, like you are a foundational piece. That is valuable. Like I've had several friends I had one friend who went to Akron, grad transfer year, he goes to, I think it was USC. And it's just like, it took you half a year to learn their system. And by the time you learn it, the season's over.
Mm-hmm.
You graduating, brother. It's like what it's. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, for the money,
counterpoint.
I guess.
But counterpoint, LJ and Milos are both transfers.
Yeah.
I mean, it can work. Your definition of work.
There are exceptions to the rule.
Well, you also have to. I think.
And LJ is a Houston kid.
When Sampson's program's different. Sampson's program. It's not like you're walking in and saying, "Hey, we're just here to play." It is. You're going to be ground down to fit into this culture, and it's culture first.
Yeah.
And it's family first. As cliche as it might sound, that's how they're able to integrate guys like Josh Carlton and Connor Edwards and Tajay Moore. Those guys came in and they had, and that goes also. It's a huge thing for Kelvin and the staff, is that they don't recruit, they evaluate. And when they evaluate guys who fit the system, that's when they go after them.
I wanna say something. So did y'all see the tape of the guy from Auburn that whenever his teammate was hitting shots, he was the saddest the most frustrated person on the team. And it's like I watched a clip of what's the head coach from UConn, Bobby or Dan Hurley? Yeah. And he was like, we were looking at this kid, but we noticed certain things and we stopped.
Yeah. And
I just feel like we're a program similar to that, where it's like if you're not gonna fit, it doesn't matter your talent level, because the essence that you bring to our team is far more important than that.
Counterpoint. Dan Hurley wants to be the whiny bitch on the team, and there's no room.
there can only be one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Got me there. Checkmate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on a team like that, you get one bad apple and you could be screwed. Which is why they threw down on the airplane.
Crazy.
Shout out. Great article by Martin Marquand, by the way. It was a great read. I think it's Marquand. I'm not saying it right. Marquand. Martin Marquand. So yeah, football talk makes Godfather uncomfortable.
I don't know what the fuck going on. Shout out my man Mac Smith, man. Shout out my man Mac Smith. I gotta come see you, Mac, when I'm back in town. No cap.
All right, hold on.
Gotta get a new stain.
Do you want pizza there, buddy? We got Star Pizza. You don't need Star Pizza?
That's that JD?
Yeah. Duarte, he doesn't eat Star Pizza.
I almost cursed him out.
Look back to sucking on his tiger tail.
There he goes. Look at him. Now he's getting him some. Look at Duarte.
Look at my man JD. Yes, sir.
GoCoogs intern, Joseph Duarte.
Yes.
And by the way, Duarte, I need you to see our background. We got to get the comment off.
What's up, Galen?
Yeah, don't point. See, you're on the background. Look at that.
Hey, Galen, he made me do that.
Oh, brother. Hey, listen, don't put that on him.
Oh, it's totally on me. I totally did it. I made him do it.
That's a crazy
Star
image.
Pizza, even longtime legendary Joseph Duarte loves it.
He's eating like 3 pieces at one time. It's unbelievable.
Hey, I know how he feels.
You shamed him into getting some pizza, Ryan.
I don't know if those two things can coexist. Shaming into pizza, he probably wanted to do that shit on his own.
I know. I mean, unless it's like vegan pizza.
Yeah, cauliflower.
I wish I could eat it, but
no, you don't. Other key stat: U of H had 7 turnovers, about 6 minutes left in the first. I think it's actually earlier than that. It was bad early on, and they only had 4. I would say the last 30 minutes of the game, 32 minutes of the game.
That's great.
They shot 20 of 30 in the second half. Just really good offensive numbers. 20 of 30, you were 7-11 from 3, and you had 5 offensive rebounds on just 10 misses. That's how you put a team away.
Yeah.
It was 51-33 in the second half. That's adequate.
Yeah, beat them, crushed them 41-22 on the boards.
And they were probably had bigger guys than we did. But Coach Sampson, he always says, like, it's especially in road games, rebounding and taking care of the ball, which is 10 turnovers or less, you're going to always have a chance to win if you do those things. And obviously playing defense, rebounding, and taking care of the ball.
I had in watching them, I always I'm glad it's not my team, because I don't want my big guys out around the 3-point line when the ball goes up.
Correct.
They got big guys shooting. I mean, I think one hit one, but to me, it's not worth it. I want my big guys in middle end to be able to go and crash the glass. I don't need 4'6", 10 guys standing around the arc.
You see it a lot nationally.
That's the sad part, man. That's sad.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Went to Chiloso's for the first time today, thanks to the rec Ryan.
Talking about Ryan. Tell me about Nacho
Galen.
Daddy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure. Was it elite or not? Oh, well, man, look at that. Look at that. God damn. That is elite. Look at the setup.
The queso was $30, okay?
What?
Hey, brother, we don't talk about prices here. We just talk about how good the food was. You eating that Perry's, Ryan? Don't talk to me about no prices, man. Don't talk to me about no prices. I had
to stay in a bus station that night because I had the queso.
Was it good though?
It was okay.
I know that margarita's probably 15. You got the jumbo.
A little more maybe.
Okay.
Speaking of Mexican foods, everybody in chat, if you're been to the Midwest, Chi-Chi's is coming back.
Who gives a shit?
It was fantastic, man.
You're a fucking idiot.
My 2 years in Indiana were, it was Chi-Chi's left and right.
Great.
It's pronounced Chai-Chais, but whatever.
Yeah.
Our photographer Mario.
Hold on.
Oh, you
didn't finish. You didn't finish your opinion of Nacho Daddy.
Smooth voice like Barry White with that microphone. It was okay. I would probably not make an effort to go back there, but if people were going, I would be fine with it. It's okay.
You got to understand, man. Ryan, you never trust his palate. He likes maybe like 3 things.
That's true.
So how about
that's 100%
If it's not
true.
steak, then he probably doesn't like it.
If the price was cut in half, then what?
It's still. I mean, the food's fine. It's just not the best thing in the world to me.
He's not going to eat Mexican food if you give him a choice.
No, I don't have a problem with it.
I seek Mexican food.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I'm gonna stick with the towns on the Rex, man. This is wow.
Well, when you have to ask him how many X's do you need,
Well, that's sounds like a guy who might have more
Hey,
experience.
they say be careful trusting a skinny chef.
Facts.
Anyways, Gary says had Star Pizza before the game. Several other Coug fans there too. That is fantastic.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for. I mean, I don't own it. I don't get any money from that, but yeah, thank you.
Hey man, we gotta support the people who support us.
Got to support the team.
Facts.
I'm in Indiana visiting family right now. I'm waiting until I get back home to have Mexican food. Towns.
I would recommend you try some because you can find some good stuff randomly. I was in West Lafayette and Richmond for one summer and then the next, and I was able to find some pretty decent places up there.
Lone Star
Okay.
Chevrolet.
I went in the transfer portal in September. I moved to a Chevy store in Cyprus, Max says. Godfather will look elite in a
That
vet
was
from Lone
Mac.
Star Chevrolet.
You didn't left, Mac. Damn. I have to. I'm gonna tap in with you, Mac. Man, I promise. I'm gonna tap in with you.
I saw Ron at the game today.
Roy.
Yeah, I don't even remember what my name was. That's the problem. It was Ron. I think it was Roy, but it could have been Ron. Who
Ron
knows?
Burgundy?
Does it matter? It's not like anybody's going to respect me.
Let me answer this question. Sometimes Coach Sampson he does things to exaggerate the point. So whether or not I can't sit here and say that he will be the starter going forward, but it's there was something that Coach Sampson was trying to get to Big J Francis, and he kind of used this as a game to do so. So it's like, who knows what the case may be, but that's usually, if there's a mix-up in the lineup, he's trying to stress an important point to someone.
I
thought it was just to keep him from getting 2 fouls before the first media timeout.
Nah, they watched that film, and it was very critical, and there was some shit that needed to be, addressed. That's what that was.
To build on what Galen's saying, Kelvin said in the postgame on the decision to start JoJo, he's been our best player night in and night out. And that's why you start him.
Don't disagree.
You've got to do that for your team. You've also got to reward that guy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, don't have any problem with that one. Just what you do. Let's see what else we have. Besides, there was a comment that I had starred that I wanted to get back to.
Mm-hmm.
There was an argument on the sideline. Guess it wasn't a big deal. Kelvin Sampson has an ability to scream at you in MFU and within 15 seconds have forgotten it and put you back in the lineup. And
crazy ability.
It's never personal, and it's never. There are coaches. Brad played for a couple.
Played for a lot of them in my career.
That put you in a doghouse and you stay there for weeks and weeks on end. Whereas Kelvin, that doghouse does not exist.
The window is.
You play the guys who need to play, and it's not a.
When you're coming up, you have guys, back. You got the old school guys like Bobby Knight. So a lot of coaches wanted to scream and yell, thinking you had to scream and yell, at players. But the thing is that the great coaches like Sampson and even Bobby Knight, they will rip you apart. But then as soon as they're done talking, it's over.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. But less experienced coaches really get up in their emotions and they get pissed off at you. And next thing you know,
they try to hold a grudge.
Yeah.
The goal is still to win.
And then then it carries over to practice, and then they're picking on you, and then they're constantly on you, and then playing you less and playing you less.
Yeah. So, Towns, I heard this story about Bobby Knight where I don't know if it's true or not, but they said he took a shit on a plate and showed it to his team and said, "This is what y'all are playing like." Has anybody heard that before?
That is a story that might be true. It might be apocryphal, but it sounds so true
It
that it
sounds like
is
Bobby
now
Knight. It's
true.
not even shocking.
It sounds. I wouldn't put it past him. I'll just say
Man,
that.
ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
So, Rusty asks, "Where is Nacho Daddy?" It's in Las Vegas,
Las
right off of the
Vegas.
Strip. I think they have 3 locations, but there's one right off the Strip in the Miracle Mile at Planet Hollywood. That's the
Is,
one I
is
went to.
is Gordon Ramsay's restaurant still in Vegas?
It's like 30 of them. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. It was only one that we talked about.
Gordon Ramsay and
Did you go to any one
Bobby
of them?
Flake. I did not. I went to a place called Carver Steak at Resort Worlds, and that was my elite dining there. I also went to a beautiful steakhouse in Salt Lake City called the Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Yeah. The comments are coming crazy. Loving the sweater, Ryan. It is unbelievable the amount of great comments we're getting about my sweater. Wow, what a great sweater, Ryan. The sweater is fire. Ryan's got style. It took me a while to put all those comments in earlier, so.
You put those in and then text somebody, "Hey, type this in my chat."
Yeah. SMU getting spanked. SMU getting smacked. That's too bad.
Shit,
It's
they number 8 in the
14-0.
nation. Yeah, I mean, first quarter.
Yeah. It's a big stage. And, Clemson's pretty good. The Big 12 championship was played today. I did not see it going down like it went.
Me either.
Arizona State they outplayed them in the first half, but the
Obliterated.
turnovers in the second half just destroyed them. Mike Gundy kept his job today. That is surprising. I thought he was out the door.
When they said that they restructured his contract, I wonder if he got one of those Bobby Bonilla deals.
No.
Or he said, "Okay, yeah, I'll let you cut my salary in half as long as you defer it for 25 years and we're good."
I think he gave some back, and they promised to put that into NIL and the revenue sharing. And anybody who's worth his
Business
salt,
is crazy.
but he knows that one good year and he gets that money back and then some.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a pretty good bet to make. And worst case scenario, they fire you and they still, he might have taken less salary, but what happened to the buyout? Is the buyout still a massive number? Because right now it'd be $25 million.
Right.
If the buyout after another year is still $20 million, well, he didn't lose.
No.
So
How can you?
yeah. And then Scott Frost going to UCF, which is done, and Rich Rod probably going back to West Virginia.
That's wild.
That is so crazy, but good for him. He's had a wild ride and
God,
done some great things.
he's been everywhere since Michigan.
Well, he left West Virginia, went to Michigan, went to Arizona, now at Jacksonville State. I know he had assistant jobs. I'm just not remembering. Galen, question. Did we see LJ step up as more of a leader this game?
LJ's a leadership in his own merit, and leadership comes in various forms. Like I'll never forget my freshman year, Damian Dotson and Wes Van Beck, how coach was talking about how those guys led and they didn't have to talk much, So, our team, our coaching staff, everybody respects LJ. So I wouldn't say this was a game that he grew in leadership because he's already been leading how he normally leads. But I just feel like this is a game where you're able to see the compound interest of what they work on and they want him to get better at. Being able to be that secondary ball handler, get in the paint, create offense, extend your dribble. He looked like a guard that was comfortable today. So I feel like I don't know if that was leadership, but I feel like that's player development.
Talk to me about being that secondary ball handler. A lot of people are calling it like a backup point guard. I don't think that's quite it.
No, it's definitely a backup PG, but it's backup PG from your starter.
Yeah.
So it's you can't really, it's gray area. But when your primary ball handler goes out of the game, which is Milo's, you don't want any slippage. You want guys to still be able to get shots created for them, and you don't want the offense, the flow to be compromised. So I feel like LJ, he's looking a lot more comfortable with the ball in his hands, and if I remember correctly, that's the reason that he came to Houston. So it's it's just a testament because I know how hard those guys work, and he just looks very, very used to having the ball in his hands and generating offense for us, as well as being an offensive threat himself.
Okay. Big Jack says, I like the big energy shift with JoJo coming off the bench. Okay, but at some point you put your best players in the game, and that means starting them. And I think he earned it, and I think he played well in his starting spot. He did not take a lot of shots, but he played well. He ended up with 6 and 8 rebounds, I think.
This wasn't a game for offense. It was a game for straight grit, hustle, defense, energy, effort, setting all the things that don't show up on a stat sheet. This was that type of game for our team.
And that's what when we think about the problems that we have, it really does all stem from defense. Because when we compare what's going on in the past, everything starts with defense.
Absolutely,
all the energy
everything
starts with defense because
everything.
we're going to get steals. We're going to get guys more involved in the game. We're going to get numbers going the other way. We're going to have teams out of shape whenever they try to come back and run to the rim. And then next thing you know, you've got kickouts wide open with 3 guys around the arc. Then we move the ball, and then that's when we really take off. And that's when we go on those big 10-0 runs. 10-0 runs don't happen because you're just shooting lights out. 10-0 runs come because you're getting stops and you're getting easy buckets. Mm-hmm. The goal is to not have to go to war for every single bucket. That's what we do to teams. Mm-hmm. And so if our team is if we're going back to our style of defense with guys flying all over the court, I mean, I would, when we're playing really good defense like the last couple of years, I would sit there and look at it. It's like, I don't know if I'd be able to breathe out there that these guys are all over the place so much because they really run a suffocating, frustrating defense because there are no passing lanes. No matter where you are, they're always one step away from it.
That's what the commentators are saying, that both teams, they have good field goal percentage defense, but we do it with pressure, whereas they do it with position. And it's just like when you're playing such like the defense is generating that much pressure, it affects your offense. And a lot of times teams they're immature, and if you can't score, that affects your ability to play defense. It causes disconnectedness, and it causes your team to separate. So it's just like, while you figuring out what works on the defensive end, that'll help you a lot more than it'll hurt you. Let me give y'all a stat. Last year, our team in the G League, we were probably the 4th rated best offense ever in G League history. So like all the teams and we had the worst defense in the league, and we had the worst record. And it's just like winning game, like when they say offense wins games, defense wins championships, it's like everybody can score when you get to a certain level. It's like, how can you stop them? And it's just like if you figure out how to guard a team, and several teams actually, you'll greatly improve your chances of winning 100%.
Yeah. And making other teams work on offense,
man.
I mean, that goes to just that's why teams tapped out against us. Yeah. Usually by the time that we go neck and neck, if we're playing neck and neck with somebody, We get it to the 5-minute mark, and we got a 4 or 5 point lead. Game was over. It was done because they're so mentally and physically exhausted because not only do they have to work their ass off on the defense, they got to spend as much energy on offense just trying to get a good look.
Yeah. And it also seems like it's just there's a level of uncertainty because like all the shit we practice, none of it's working. It's like, Coach, what the fuck we do? Like any shit that we work on, none of it's working. And it's just like that just causes so much disruption and discombobulation within the team that is I'm glad that we have the coach that we have because that's what he causes other teams to that's a result.
Yep. You hit them hard enough, long enough, all of a sudden they're seeing ghosts, and they don't know where they don't know where a good pass is. They don't know who's open.
Like it was a point in the first half where the game looked like it was going so fast, but it was because we were speeding them up so much.
Yeah.
And it was like one time a guy drove on the base, just threw it away. And it's just like when you're being sped up, when you're uncomfortable, it's just like, man, it just seems like there are 10 guys on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Like our guys, they were playing so much harder than that Butler team, and it's just like it's clearly a reflection of the practice, but it's a reflection also of our standard and where we hold ourselves to.
Yeah.
So I turned the brightness up on my laptop, and it really does look like a robe.
Don't it? Okay, so I wasn't tripping. All right, cool.
No, you're not. It looks like a robe. It looks like a fat dude in a robe.
I might have to do that.
Gotta be sensitive, Ryan.
He's
sorry.
I need to give you a big old velour robe.
Well,
maybe silk.
Yeah. I apologize for calling you fat.
You a real one. Towns, Towns is a good sport about all this shit. Like this is, man, that's a secure guy right there, man. That's a secure guy.
Do you know what it is?
I mean, shit. I feel like he's 6'5" because so
there it is. That's it.
Yeah,
he's 6'5". I'm 5'9".
Yeah. So say something like, I beat your ass. Like Big Town's a bully for sure.
There was a time we used to do a Friday night tailgate before football games. We called it Fall Down Friday. Towns drank then, I drank then, and we'd play poker in the parking lot at Robertson. And we'd
how old were y'all?
This was 15 years ago. Let's call it 15.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. And we would go to 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just sitting out in the parking lot, and nobody came around. Nobody fucked with us. And one night, another group of people came to tailgate. I think it was homecoming weekend. And they came to where we were, and they started talking shit, and I started talking it right back because, I mean, who am I? And finally, one of them said something a little threatening to me, and Towns, who had been sitting on a cooler at this table, stood up, and it looked like the Hulk, just like standing up, and he slammed his head down and said, "Look, motherfucker!" And I just felt like, you know what? That big guy up there, that's not so bad. I like him. He helped me out right there because I would have gotten my ass whooped.
No.
But
I remember when I seen Towns at Star Pizza, and I just seen like
Star
a
Pizza.
mountain of a man. I was like, yeah. I wouldn't fuck with him. If he grabs you, it's over with.
The good thing is I'm really mild mannered, and if I need to get things straight, I'll just bark real loud, and everybody just kind of falls in line. It's like, I don't know if I could, but I don't want to find out.
Yeah. I ain't gonna test his temperature.
That's right.
Yeah.
That looks like a guy that should be in a velour robe.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So damn, Ryan Townsend got you out of a jam. That's a real one, man.
Probably a few times.
That's a real one, man. That's a real one.
I've gotten him out of jams
If you was talking shit to Ryan, if you was talking shit to me, I'd be very confident talking shit back to you. But if Towns stood up behind you, all right, y'all got this. You
gotta do some calculations here.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Wait, 6'5". Yeah. No, that's out of
carry
my
the 2.
Yeah, it's over with. Yeah, I ain't doing that one.
Yeah.
So what do we got? What's the schedule coming up?
Tuesday night, have a game against Troy here. And I believe next Saturday afternoon.
Nice.
No.
Do you know
not next Saturday.
Troy's record at this point in time,
I do
Ryan,
not.
or no?
Okay. I do not. And no, you do not have a game next Saturday. I made that up. So that's pretty good. You play Tuesday night, and then you play some other night.
I like doing these. That's it. But it's just like sometimes it was, man, when they collide, it's hard. Pause. It's tough.
Okay.
That looks like Troy is 5-3 right now.
5-3. But that's crazy because a team like that probably plays a lot of bye games, and for them to be in the
they got beat by Arkansas 65-49, and then they lost to Oregon 82-61.
So
they're not going to be. I don't expect them to be great, but they might be. We're hoping
they'll probably top 2, top 3 in their league, though.
Yeah, that's the hope usually behind Kelvin's
Mm-hmm.
scheduling these games
Mm-hmm.
is get the guys who are going to be the top of their lower conference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Losing at Arkansas and at Oregon, shit, those ain't no bad losses for nobody.
Yeah. Arkansas was down at the half to UTSA today. They came back and won. But
Where was it
they
at?
were
Where was it
playing-
at? Where was it at?
At
Was that
Fayetteville.
Arkansas?
It was not at UTSA.
I mean, just have to, given the tournament dynamic, and
That's true. That's true. Is in Fayetteville.
It's amazing how much home field advantage truly matters in the college game. I mean, you saw Auburn. Did you watch Auburn and Duke this week? Auburn jumped out real quick, like they were about to lay it on them, and then Duke just did what they do.
Yeah. No, that energy feeding you, man, it's invaluable. And that's why it's important for our supporters. If we have a game, no matter who it's against, get out there, man, because there are strength in numbers, and you do make a difference. That being able to run out to a sold-out arena and active supporters, that really does help our guys.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping these upcoming games we can get out early and put the boat race on, and so we can get some of these young guys some more time.
Yeah.
Get Mercy more time on the floor. Get Cordell out there. Get Big Said.
You know what's crazy with Mercy is I was just he got in the game early in the first half, and his attention to detail on defense and his sense of urgency really did stand out to me. His closeouts, they were controlled for the most part, but he just looked comfortable, and it's just like he's close to taking that next step. I have a very good feeling he's going to be able to take that next step and be a reliable guard for us in the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that next step means he'll be able to play meaningful minutes in the Big 12?
Yeah, because he has something that you can't teach. He's just, regardless of where he is on the court, he sees the basket. So it's like when you got guys like that, it's their mindset never changes, only the circumstances. But it's just if he can stay on the floor and he can gain the trust of our coaches on the defensive end, I do think he will be able to, because he's such a high offensive. He generates a lot of offense. When he's in that mode, for sure. God damn, Ryan, what you doing?
I was just putting the pizza up. I didn't realize it was loud. I apologize. Well, I just realized that they'd already come and cleaned, and so I got to make sure that gets thrown away. Ron needs sensitivity training. Thank you, Mac. Appreciate that.
Shout out Big Mac, man. Shout out my guy,
Hey, Ryan.
Mac.
Ryan, speak into the light.
Oh,
be
you
a-
mean in the microphone?
Yeah.
Got
Don't be a
it.
guppy.
Okay.
And Clemson scored again, 21-7.
Yeah, they are moving the ball on offense. It's pretty wild that Penn State, Oregon, the Big Ten game, is on CBS. That's just weird.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. How bad of matchups did CBS get this year on their
Pretty bad.
on their Big Ten coverage? Nice trade, guys.
They didn't really have a choice.
You know, they're both
Oh
both
my.
the SEC, both the SEC, all these
You
conferences.
saw that he just hurdled him, right?
All these conferences that have
I don't know. What happened?
that don't have divisions anymore, they're going to have to figure out their scheduling so you don't have so many teams with terrible schedules.
Very much so.
What were you saying, Galen?
They just showed a clip of the Oregon and whoever y'all
Yeah.
said, and
Penn State.
yeah, dude from Oregon hurdled somebody, and damn,
There is a
that just
actually
athleticism difference.
It's actually
Wow.
a shock to see that Oregon actually has a really cool looking uniform, or at least that I find it looking cool.
that black,
Usually
that
it's
black
like,
is elite for sure.
but I like that metallic dark green that they got.
Mm.
That looks pretty nice.
Yeah, rare.
Yeah.
But so,
Rare.
talking about what did I miss last show, man? I really had a lot to say about that, and I couldn't stay up. I was
About San Diego
far
State.
too tired. Yeah. So let me
Well,
give
we
a little
talked a
recap
lot
real
of
quick.
football, and we talked
Mhm.
some basketball. It's been a week, Galen.
San Diego State was
I
just
remember.
such a
It's on
frustrating-
YouTube.
San Diego State was one of those I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed kind of dad talks.
Because it was just funny how we played San Diego State in the tournament my junior year,
Yep.
and it came down to a last second shot, and
Yep, Rob Gray.
no, they had the ball in the
Oh,
final
that's right.
possession.
That's right. You're right. You're
And
right.
I remember Coach Simp in that huddle. He was just like, "Whatever y'all do, do not gamble. Stay solid." And Armani Brooks, what does he do? He gambles. I'm like, "Oh shit!" Their guard, I forget his name. He gets like a clear look at the three. I got the contest, and thank God he missed. But I was just like, man, but that guy, that coach, he's a very good coach. Dutcher, whatever the fuck his name is, he's a very good coach for sure. I felt like he probably felt like he got like a little bit of payback.
And
Yeah.
that game I think is going to be a lasting lesson, because that was a game that they didn't seem like they were really in it from the start. Just,
Energy wise,
yeah, they just really
Like-
kind of flat. You know, it's like, hey man, we're playing this meaningless third place game in Vegas. Let's just do what we got to do and get out of here with the win, because wins just come to us because. But what they did is they had the lead. We had the lead in the second half, and then San Diego State started going. If you remember, this happened all the time last year. We would get up to an 8 to 12 point lead early in the second half, and then teams would get back in it. What this team found out, Daddy Jamal ain't coming back to save your ass. He's not gonna pull you out of the fire. You got to pull yourself
and
out.
also,
And we just didn't do it.
we generate leads last year, and let's say the team came back, but it wouldn't be our energy that was the issue. And it was like might have been able to generate a lead with that game just because we may have been the more raw, talented team, but our energy was not at all where it needed to be.
Right.
So just like I said, it's only a matter of time before the energy aligns with the scoreboard.
Right.
And we just, they just had to pop the possess. They were probably the more excited team, So it's just like, that was a tough watch, man. That was a tough watch. But I feel like with that game, they learned a lot about certain things, like certain weaknesses that they had, and that's probably what propelled the type of practices that they had this past week, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that game was one of those. It's not going to tell you. It's not going to tell you who you are, but it's going to reveal who you're not.
Exactly.
Towns? Hold on, can y'all hear me still?
Yeah.
Towns,
Yeah.
you got some great. You got some. If you were an artist, I'd listen to you.
Sorry, I can't let him go on. I just had to mute him. There is a limit to what I can take.
Oh well, you're
No,
going to take
if Towns was an artist, I'd listen to his music for sure. That's a artist, for sure.
I can't believe what's happened to my organization.
Ryan, your microphone doesn't work when you don't talk into it.
Yeah, I'm just having a trouble. I'm dealing with
doing?
things. I'm working. You know, not everybody just gets to sit there and talk. Some people have to move the production around. So y'all just sit there and talk while I move the production around.
You're just texting.
What the comments saying, Ryan? What the comment section talking about? Production.
You got things going on here. Brad, you can handle comments for a second.
All right. Let's see here. Terrence Buckets, I agree. Telling you, man, that kid, get everything healthy and get him ready to go. He's gonna be a handful.
What the practice that I went to, and how our coaching staff and how they were demanding he shoot the ball in that mid-range, get into that spot. When you're a player, play in general, but let alone when you're coming back from that level of injury that he came back from, that, like I said this before, that does it moves mountains for your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Don't shoot it. I mean, don't pass it. Shoot it. It's like that just makes you feel good as a player, and it's just like it gives you all the confidence in the world to fail. So it's like.
Well, see, I think I'm glad to hear that that they're doing that with him, because, like I said earlier, our guys are so nice and so team focused that they want to give the ball. They want to get everybody involved. But at some time, somebody's got to get the ball and say, "It's mine. We're going." Enough of this passing bullshit. Let's get to the rack.
Counter argument. I feel like our guys are mature enough to honor the value of sacrifice.
True.
So it's just like but then again, our guys, they all know what each other's good at, and it's like sometimes you may need to boost from the coaching staff to, but just going to that practice and seeing how they were with Terrence and Mercy, they were just like miss everything, like shoot it 1,000% of the time, don't pass it at all, miss all the shots, like just shoot them every time, and it's just like. That really does help you. And I feel like they're doing that because they know the value that those guys have in the future of our program.
Are you coming home? Y'all have a break coming up, right?
I mean, it's probably for 2 days.
Okay.
And then after the break, we go to Toronto. So I might see. I'm going to see them all for sure. I'm going to see them all for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to have to work on that one.
Man, I was supposed to go Christmas shopping 30 minutes ago, but this episode's been too good. Y'all make a great team. See, Ryan, that's a positive for you.
Yeah.
We got a new fan in the house. William, UConn fan. Don't yell at us like Hurley. Don't hurley us. We haven't done anything wrong yet.
Oh, William.
Welcome, UConn fan. Watch you guys beat down Butler. Impressive. Cougars held Butler to 6 points for over 14 minutes. Yeah, it's nice to. Hey, Cougs, it's nice to see you again.
Ops tapping in. Oh, man.
Do what?
You got the opposition's tapping into our show. That's
right. Hey, man, we're nationwide, baby.
Big 12, Big East battle, which is going away now. Which is fine.
Why is that going away?
Because nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it's a bunch of... You're playing, I think, 12 games this year. You didn't include any of the 4 new teams. Central Florida hasn't played in it in 2 years. BYU played once and lost. U of H is 2-0. Iowa State is 5-0. But it just nobody cares. It doesn't move the needle, and coaches want to schedule their own games and not schedule this crap.
Do they mix in another tournament, or do you think they just go try to get control who they want to play? I'm sure that some would rather not. Some of the top teams would rather not play the bottom teams.
Probably. There is talk of another NIL sort of series or an event with 4 teams, U of H, probably Tennessee, probably Arkansas, and one other Big 12 team. Maybe doing it in Fayetteville, like 2 games for one day. But that's still in the early phase of planning. I know that Kelvin wants to play games like that, where it brings in NIL dollars.
Heck yeah.
So we'll just see.
I mean, if you find tournaments that are offering up $1 million per team, sign it up.
Well, I think there was a lot of surprise from the U of H side that the Las Vegas tournament went off as well as it did, but also that they actually paid.
Yeah.
Because, it was not that well attended. They did get some sponsors last minute. They got a TV deal last minute.
I do like the fact that it was on the TBS family. That's nice to see.
That was elite. They're talking about going to 16 teams for that next year, spreading it across 3 arenas.
They're playing
So, Galen, I can't hear Galen. Can you?
Your sound went out.
Can y'all hear me now?
That's better.
Yeah. I said that it's kind of like similar with the TBT when they first started. Wasn't that many people bought in, but when you see something that's ran let alone when it's attended by respected teams and respected programs, that's going to help you in the long run. So, yeah, they're playing.
We'll see about TBT. I don't know. Some issues. This, I think, is really cool. One of our subscribers, Kelvin, says finally got to meet his role model, Emmanuel Sharp. This is a 4-year-old, his nephew, who had his birthday and got to meet his guy, Emmanuel Sharp. Very awesome. Our guy, Jamie, is at Star Pizza. That appears to be the Washington location.
It's the only one I've been to.
I can't believe you've never been to the original.
Well, because let's put it this way.
I don't care.
I never made it to that side whenever I was, hanging out in Shepherd Square, and I don't remember much of leaving Shepherd Square.
Yeah.
So, you know how it goes.
Thank you. Nice to be on. I won't yell at you. Well, that's something. Thank you, UConn guy. The more NIL tournaments, the better. Sportico did a whole entire write-up on how they actually paid the teams out, talking about the Vegas tournament. There was a lot of...
Oh, how did they pay them out? Like sacks of nickels?
Yes.
You get everybody a big bucket from the slot machines?
How would the NIL dollars from the Players' Era tourney be used? So...
Filling
the
pockets.
Money, yes. Those $8,000 man purse things that they're buying now.
Put them, those little machines like the grab a dollar machine where you got to jump in it and close the door, and they got the fan on at the bottom, and you throw them.
Okay, we're muting him. Nope, not anymore. Just out. Not done. No, you're an idiot. Nobody.
I want to see our guys. I want to see our guys do that. Fight it out.
Money goes to the players, yes. So a large portion of the money goes straight to the players. I do not know how they divvy that up. Technically, it's not for the school to decide on, but I'm sure there is a merit system that was used and not everybody got equal shares. This is my guess. Doesn't TBT owe U of H money still?
Don't know about that.
Yeah.
I know we're in it next year, and I know I'm playing.
Is that an announcement?
Unless you got to go do some more
Right,
spy stuff in China.
My guy robbed and hit me up today. He's like so stoked about it, and that shit ain't for like another 7 months. But that's Rob in a nutshell. So he was like, bro, you're playing this year. I was just like, okay. Well, I was gonna do that anyway, but I'm glad you told me.
Okay, that's an announcement and a binding contract. Galen Robinson playing in the TBT. Good for you, Galen.
Good for us, Ryan.
Shout out to Brad Towns, the 63 most stylish people of 2024.
Yes.
All you need is a fat man in a robe.
And don't confuse me with John Fetterman.
There he is, Pudding.
Yes.
Right there, eating his pizza, getting his star pizza on.
She screamed. What the heck?
It was a thing in the New York Times. I just saw it and I thought of you.
Okay.
Yeah, when I think stylish, I think this sweater, but I also think of you, Brad Towns.
Scary.
Get Corey Davis on the next Forever Cougs squad.
I can't say too much.
Can't say too much. Possible.
Efforting.
Always efforting. And Galen, where is DZ playing? I think he means Steaky. Is there a DZ? I don't know of a DZ.
But Deke, he had a significant, a severe injury, and he's currently rehabbing. So, yeah, that's what Deke is now. But yeah.
Okay.
Was he with the Portland organization?
No, that's Tajay. Deke, he finished last year. I believe he got a couple of 10 days with Memphis, and 10 days are worth a lot of money. So he got like a few of those. Was able to finish out the year with them, and but earlier this year he got an injury, probably a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. So he's recovering from that.
Yeah, that 10-day contract can make your year.
Yeah. You're getting probably like 70, 80,000, maybe 90.
Or higher, yeah.
Yeah.
And then per diem, which is pretty good.
Oh, man, don't even talk about that. Lord.
You could go to Nacho Daddy for days and days on that.
For weeks.
What is the per diem up there?
It's like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, it's like $300 a day.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I mean, you on a value menu, Towns?
Shoot. Take me back in time to that Arby's 5 for $5 deal.
Towns heading straight to a steakhouse.
We would roll into town.
He's going to Arby's.
We would roll into town and get our $15 a day per diem, but they give it to us. We'd be in town for 3 or 4 days, so we get it all up front. Mm-hmm. I was at Arby's, dude. I would get like 3 or 4 5 for $5s, and I would just eat cold roast beef sandwiches every damn day. I was there.
Oh, Towns. You don't help your case, man.
Get it whatever you can, a bottom shelf liquor.
Bottom shelf.
Yeah.
Very much so.
It's like something in the back office at the bottom.
Paul Masson.
We shall serve no wine before it's done.
Oh man, I miss this shit, man.
Y'all are a mess.
And that's when I became a massive fan of Ryan's Family Steakhouse.
Oh God!
Because we go in there, man, and I would just start shoveling stuff into a bag. When you get there late night, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna throw it out, so you might as well take it." Thank you.
Town had like hacks.
Absolutely. You know when to get there for the extra special trash dump.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
But I mean, dude, we were back then playing independent ball. We were getting like $650 a month.
Whoo! Yeah, that'll do
I
it.
lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with 10 dudes.
With 10 dudes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Luckily, I slept on the fold-out couch. They gave me that, so I was more than happy.
Did they give you that, or were you bigger than everybody, and it was more so like,
No, man, we had some dudes on the team. We had some big old boys.
Okay.
Star Pizza.
There you go. Star Pizza. Y'all are difficult.
We're always a little unruly.
Unruly is a good way to put it.
You give me time, you start running out of stuff to say, then I'm just going to tell you some dumbass stories.
All right, let's go to our final thoughts on what we saw tonight so I can get out of here. Brad?
Cougs, good to see you again. Welcome back. This is exactly what we were looking for. After a week off, you get a brand new, fresh start, and this is the exact kind of game that I think everybody wanted to see, and I think that the players knew that this is exactly what they should be doing. So good thing all the other stuff's behind us. Learn your lessons, and it was great to see the comeback and see the defensive intensity turning into offensive intensity. Let's keep that going. Please get a big giant lead, and let's get some of the young guys some reps because we know we're going to need these guys at the end of the year. So let's get some reps early.
Yeah.
Galen Robinson.
I'd say when you're dealing with, young guys, there's going to be natural slippage, but when you play with that energy and you play with that pop, everything else will take care of itself. So I feel like regardless of who you're playing against, that should be the priority, whether you're playing against Duke or if you're playing against Texas Southern. If you play with that pop, you'll always give yourself a chance to win, and more times than not, you're going to win. But it was good to see us kind of get back to playing to the culture and kind of recognizing the team that we saw, that we witnessed tonight. So proud of our guys for responding. And I'm looking forward to what they do in the future.
That all sounds pretty good. U of H won points in the paint 28-6.
Damn.
And
and their best player, I think he averaged damn near close to 20. He didn't get his first points until 30-something plus minutes into the game from the free throw line. That's pretty impressive.
There you go.
Agreed,
yeah. Jamie's head of the snake was over for much of the game. I think it's the guy you're talking about. Telford. Or the other guy.
Yeah, Telford.
So, that's pretty good. There were some concerns, but things you can paper over for right now. But, you win a 28-point victory in a massive event like the Big 12 Big East battle.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's pretty big. I mean, who would
So
have ever thought? Yeah.
Ryan, so let's say next year they're in this, will they play an away game? Or
well, this is over. They're not playing it anymore.
Okay.
So they played an away game last year at Xavier on December 1st of last year and won that one. So if they do something like that again, most likely, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to try to do another NIL event, and if not, they'll just play another home game. Just a regular home game against the types of teams you expect to play in December. So it looks like you'll get big-time games in Vegas. You're going to get the big-time game against Auburn in Birmingham. And then who knows if that Fayetteville idea that I talked about comes to fruition. So
I mean, honestly, let's be real. I wouldn't be surprised if they lightened up a little bit from this year, just because we're going to have so many young, important pieces next year.
Yeah.
It's possible. You're losing a lot of experienced talent and bringing in a lot of young guys. So we'll see.
Got a long way to go. Quest to Monday night still active.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
we're gonna get there, man.
Yeah. Will there be a show tomorrow night? We are efforting right now, making all the big efforts. Show us that again, Galen. There you go. Houston versus everybody. Saw a lot of it in the arena.
OneSubstantial.com. It's about to be a big drop coming here soon. So
nice.
Make sure you're in position to.
I feel like we've been hearing this for a while. I'm ready.
It's on the way.
So I have to go do mom duty on Tuesday. Still dealing with the arm. She doesn't know we're putting her in a home. But you better drop that merchandise before we put her in that home.
What did I miss?
My mother fell and broke her bone in her arm, and
damn.
Yeah, so
the part
it'll
that's
work.
Not humorous.
Towns. Towns. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Mama Monso.
Why was this? I don't even know who this was. I saw a tweet
Aaliyah
about
Boston. She's in the. If I'm not mistaken, she's in the WNBA.
WNBA. She played at South Carolina. Looked her up.
Yeah.
And she was there with some influencer that I've never heard of, but that doesn't mean anything because.
What was the influencer's name, if you can remember?
I don't. I sent it to Talent and said, "Who the f is this?"
You sent it to me?
Yeah. Good effort.
Towns didn't even know.
Janae Sims is her name.
Oh, yeah. So
see,
I don't know her.
All right.
Aaliyah Boston, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonder who she's dealing with.
I don't know. Could just be in town.
Nah.
But, there you go. So we'll do this. Tuesday I have Mom in the afternoon. Then we'll have the Troy game. Then we'll do this show. And so we'll, I think Aaliyah is close with Juwan. I did not know that. I don't.
Ryan, when I say something about, when you see just trust what I say in regards to these situations.
What did you say?
She's dealing with someone on the team in some form or fashion.
Got it.
Towns, I saw the smirk. I know you get it.
It's a long way to go for that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank y'all so much. I just don't even need to deal with you anymore. Mac, we believe there's going to be a show. We're trying to get someone high up in the football infrastructure who is brand new to the city on the show tomorrow. And if that works out, definitely be a show. If not, we're going to try to figure it out. So we will see, and we'll let you know, I promise. So thank y'all so much for watching. Appreciate it. Hour and 40 minutes we've been doing this. I'm going to go have some dinner, although I had quite a bit of Star Pizza.
Thank you for everybody in the chat for hanging out. We do appreciate it.
Everybody watching, everybody with
always
chat.
Nice to see the same repeat names, and nice to see some new names too. So thank you again for coming out.
You know what's better, man? It's good seeing y'all. I miss y'all, man. Hey, shout out to the gang, man.
Shout out to the gang.
Oh man. Oh brother.
Yeah.
Elite comment. Well, all right, y'all. We tap in with to say.
Thank you guys. Glad to be back in here. We're glad to have Galen back. It's been I think 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah, right, bro.
So thank y'all. And we'll do this again Tuesday night. GoCoogs.com. Brad Towns, Galen, Godfather.